Hi, this is Justin McCarthy with the PRMIA Standards of Practice Working Group, and today I'm going to give you a quick introduction to the Standards of Practice. This is a proposed set of work that has been done by PRMIA at the moment, and we will see what work has been done so far and what's left to be done. So, we're going to look at some key questions around why we're going to have or why these standards of practice are being proposed. Look what other industries have done, because we'll find other industries have done this, but it hasn't been done in risk management. How granular we have to be, and this is going to give you an idea of how the actual standards of practice will be laid out, and then the final proposal and what exactly will be produced out of this. Some key questions. So we've had a recent financial crisis, and we have to ask ourselves some questions after this. Could the crisis have been prevented or lessened by some set of risk management guidance or practices? So this is something that Bob Mark, the author of Essentials Risk Management and also a PRMIA board member, has been talking about for a long time, this entire set of questions we have here. And he's asked, and people have agreed with him, that perhaps something could have been done to prevent or lessen the crisis we've had. And then he goes on to say what risk management standards are desirable and possible at an individual group level. So as an individual risk manager, what standards should you be using? And across an entire group or industry or enterprise, can these be used there as well? Should risk managers have a set of practice standards of practice similar to other professions? So Bob has spoken a lot about actuaries and CFAs and so on, and we'll look at these in a few moments. So we propose that a set of standards of practice for risk managers should be created and propagated across the risk management profession. So we're talking about banking, asset management, insurance. So we're not just saying this is a banking thing. We need to think, okay, at a high level, we're going to talk about standards, but then we also need to think, how can these be applied at different parts of the financial service industry? And the purpose of the related working group was to define these standards of practice, agree their structure, build a prototype, and related templates, and then participate in the creation of these. So, with that in mind, if we're proposing this for risk management, what have others done? Well, you have the International Actuarial Association and the CFA, and they've put together a set of standards. So if you think of this, if you look here, we have a standard for current estimates or for business combinations and so on. And you can imagine, should there be something similar for model validation or operational risk event reporting or something like that? Should something like this be written for risk management for risk managers in the risk management industry? And if you are interested, you can go to that website and find out more. The CFA have a Standards of Practice Handbook, and again, you can look that up. So, if we go into a little more detail, here's the Actuary Standard Board, and they have actual standards of practice, and you can go in here, they have a whole set of documents, and if you look into a little more detail, for example, there's a risk evaluation enterprise risk management, and we've spoken to the people who put this together, we've got an understanding of the template they use, the review they went through, and so on, and the proposal is to start putting together something similar for risk management. So, what's PRMIA going to do? Well, we're going to look at doing this, as we said, across multiple sectors, and we need to think, are we going to do this as something very detailed or something that's quite sparse? So if you think we're going to do it, quite sparse, like you should have risk management, then if you look at it as just for one sector, we're just saying it's for risk management and financial services, you might get something quite vague. Now, this has been done in other places, but we're thinking, okay, can we do what other possibilities are there? If we do it, a little detail across multiple sectors, then you have even more lack of detail stretched across. So you're saying you should do risk management in a life insurance company, you should do risk management in a non-life insurance company, and so on. If you try and do it saying, okay, we're going to do it for just financial services, but do it in detail, it could be very difficult to fit this across the entire financial services industry. So if you have something around operational risk, the way that's done in one industry can be different to the other, the same for liquidity and so on. So what we're saying is we're going to have high-level guiding principles and then detailed guidelines for each industry sector. So we might have something along the lines of there must be a certain kind of management dashboard or risk management dashboard, and then we can have guidelines underneath that says, well, the kind of things you should have on it is KRIs for banking, maybe something to do with some kind of concentration of credit risk, while you might be looking at something more to do with reinsurance if you're looking at an insurance dashboard. So this is where we're heading for with standards of practice. Two parts. High-level principles, so for example, there should not be excessive concentration of any portfolio, and more detailed, industry risk should be stress tested through, and so on. So, the proposal is that a set of enabling materials are put together, an example standard of practice, which will be done through the prototype work that's been done. This will also require a template to be put together, a quality guide, which will be a way of telling people this is what must be written, it must be a certain style, and so on. And PRMIA risk taxonomy. A taxonomy is just a way of laying things out, and this is just saying that we have certain kinds of risk and we break it down into different areas. So we might have 3 or 4 standards of practice under credit risk, 3 or 4 under operational risk, and so on. So if you look here at the cloud, you have partners who will be volunteers and so on, who will take these materials, create the SOPs, and these will then be published. So the working group at the moment is looking at putting together the materials, giving the leadership and quality control. So that is the standard practice proposal, and the next video will look at the prototype group and how they are going to put together those materials so this can be scaled up.